Now my Airbnb host has recommended me a hike to the other side, like I mentioned yesterday, and that hike goes up that mountain till the top, and then I go into Corniglia, this place called Corniglia, and then from there I can take a train or keep hiking further. But I'm still thinking because I'm very tired, my legs are hurting, so I haven't yet decided what to do, but maybe I'll make up my mind once I start from this Airbnb today. So I've just headed out here in Manarola, and I've decided to take the hike up to Volastra, and then from there I'll be heading on to Corniglia, and that's a 2.5 hours hike is what my Airbnb host told me, but I think I'm going to take like 3.5 hours considering my speed. Anyway, so I plan to get there by maybe 12:30 or so. So I've been told to take the stairway between the church and the restaurant, and that's this one. Now the view from Volastra, I've been told, is just amazing. There's the plaque Volastra Corniglia. So I'm heading on the right route. The only thing is I'll have to take a stairs on the right, which are really steep, and just go straight up this mountain. So here you can see the sign for Volastra, and these are the stairway to hell. Oh, the climb starts. So that's our village down there, Manarola. That's the hiking path. It goes straight on the ridge, goes up the mountain, and I don't know if you can see those yellow houses all the way at the top. That's Volastra. Look at this vineyard on my left, and you can see the ocean as well. What a beautiful view. It's a lovely traverse. You can see the mountain face on one side while you traverse. You can see how clear the water is. Lot of enthusiastic dogs on the hike. Bonjour. Bonjour. So I've completed the second climb as well, and now there's a plaque here which says Volastra Corniglia to the right. So I'm going to head this way. It's a traverse, so I'm happy. Some break for my tired legs. Here's a beautiful top view of Manarola and the surrounding valley with the vineyards on the slopes. Another sign which says the way to Volastra, and Manarola was left behind 0.2 kilometers. Now this is going to be another climb that will start. Third climb of this hike today, but some traverse before the climb starts. So as you can see, we have left the seaside or the windward side at our back, and now we are into the inside of the valley. You can see more vineyards here because the slopes are slightly gentle than the ones on the seaside, and it's lush green. It's the end of October, but still the valley is lush green, and the sun is quite strong as well. I would like to tell you that. I mean, I never expected such a harsh sun in Italy. Even though it's cold, the temperature would be around like 22 or 23 degrees, but the sun, it really hits and it'll burn your skin. A lot of flies here in the outdoors. Nothing harmful, but it's just irritating. You have to just buzz them off all the time, like this one. Constant irritation. So that is the Volastra village up there. So there's definitely going to be another climb, or maybe two, to get to that village. But yeah, we'll deal with it once we come to that. Here's a view of the valley, the road passing by through the valley. A lot of bikers out today. It's a Sunday. Some signage here. So Volastra, 0.2 from here, Manarola, and another village that side, and there's another village on the right. So we are heading to Volastra. We'll take left. Nice stone staircase. Pretty gentle slope though. It's not those same high steps that we took on the first and second climb. You could say I'm done with the 70 to 80% of the route, hike route up to Volastra. Now I will rest in Volastra, take my breakfast, and then proceed ahead to Corniglia. I believe that most of the route towards Corniglia is a descent, so we'll find out. I'm not sure, but I hope it's a descent. This looks like an olive farm. A lot of olive trees in here. We pay so much for olives back in Dubai, and here there are olives just lying on the ground being crushed. So that's Volastra there. We've reached Volastra finally. Yellow house that we could see from below. It's taken me almost an hour to reach here, and we just need to get to the town square now, rest, have some water, have whatever breakfast we have, and then move on. So Manarola is on the left side, Corniglia is on the right side. We are heading to Corniglia. I've left Volastra town behind. I need to just find a place where I can rest. I don't want to rest in shade because I'll get cold. I'm totally covered in sweat, so I need to dry off as well. Try and find a clear space. And I hope all the climb is over now because I'm really tired. So I've arrived at this church in Volastra. There are these benches provided here on the side. That's where I'm going to rest for a bit, check the map, have my breakfast, and then head out for the hike further. That was a good break. Had my breakfast, one banana, a few nuts, and some bruschetta. Now heading to Corniglia on 587. That's 1.4 kilometers. So that means that whatever we have covered until now was just 30% of the trail, and now we have 70% more to cover. But I think this is a mostly like a flat walk, traverse and downhill. Let's see though. On to my left there are some olive farms, and now the vineyards start on the left. You can see a farmer working inside the farm here in the vineyard. I'm going to try and eat an olive from the tree. It's really bitter. That's Manarola at the bottom, and here's Volastra at the top. So I tried natural olives directly from the tree, and it was really bitter. I don't know if they pluck it and then process it or do something. So here's some information about the wine or the grapes that are being grown here and wine that is being produced here. It's the dry Bianco white wines of Cinque Terre, produced from Bosco, Vermentino and Albarola grapes grown on the terrace slopes. So the terrace slopes were created by carrying the soil and buttressed by the dry stone walls built by man over past millennium. The traditional planting scheme later replaced by arbors. That's our route towards Corniglia, but this is a spot or a viewpoint which we are going to have a look at. Oh man. So the farmer here has protected the grapes from being stolen by the hikers by putting up this mesh on top of the vineyard boundary. Some of them are still open though, but there are no grapes here. So, and here's a little museum or whatever you may call it for the vineyard, and you can just enter from that gate, and there are some QR codes provided on the way which you can scan and find some information about these grapes. Right now I'm not doing any of that. My aim is to get to Corniglia. As you can see, some of the farmers have come up with these tiny bars, you can say, where you can tour their vineyard and also check out their wine. But I think it's closed right now. Anyway, we'll just proceed further, enjoying this view. I'm in a fix right now. I don't know if I should keep recording or stop recording, because this is the finest view of Cinque Terre, is what I've been told. I can almost see the complete route from here, which is a good thing. Elevation of that point where the people are hiking right now on the traverse is slightly higher than this, but I'm sure that climb or the elevation gain is going to be gradual and not very steep, because it's not a lot of difference between this point and that point, but slight difference. So I'm sure it's going to be gradual. I'm happy about it. I'm also happy that now it's mostly traverse, and then there would be just a descent right at the end near the Corniglia town. These dogs, they are so excited to hike. I've seen so many of them on the hike, even yesterday. Since I've started the hike, I have not switched off my camera myself. Like, it's been continuously on and I've been recording something or the other on the way. As mentioned in my previous vlog as well, Corniglia is the only town which is on the hill and does not have a beach to it. So the train station is located at a very lower level and the town is at a very higher level. So you go to the town, look around, and then you have to again descend down to the train station. I can also do this reel. 1 minute you're on the road looking at the scenery, next minute you're in the scenery looking at the road. The vineyard terraces of Cinque Terre, I have seen it, I have experienced it. Just a reminder, you're on one of the most beautiful trails in the world. Wait on the trail, look back and enjoy the view. Totally worth it. I'm very glad that I listened to what my Airbnb host said. I was in two minds this morning. I was thinking whether to go on this hike or just to take the trains to next towns and to just have a relaxing day, but this is relaxing. So the last time I mentioned about that height gain, I was somewhere there where those people are at that corner, and now I am on the opposite side of the valley, gained that height gradually. So it has been a really nice traverse. I've enjoyed this hike a lot. I've arrived at another little town here. Actually, even on the map when I saw the trail and the road here in the valley are parallel to each other throughout, so I could hear the vehicles passing by on the road while I was on the hike. Corniglia. I think this is the point where our descent starts, and I'm sure that is going to be a very steep descent because we are at a very high elevation and I can see Corniglia right down there. Check out this part of the hike, completely covered by the foliage. Much needed after that heavy ascent. Still traversing, still at a very average elevation. Haven't started the descent yet. I cannot imagine how the descent is going to be right now because it's a long way to go to that town Corniglia. So this is where the descent starts to Corniglia. It's a long way down and it's going to be a wild route. It's a very steep descent because the distance is less and the elevation to descend to is a lot. I don't know if you can see, but that's Manarola over there, way out of the sight. It's too far. Still descending to Corniglia. It's a heavy descent. Again, that becomes really heavy on your legs because you need to have that stopping power, that control while descending such a slope. It is shaded mostly. Here's a slight opening from that dense foliage on our descent, but still we cannot see the Corniglia town. Maybe it's around the corner, you would be able to view that. So as I mentioned in my previous vlog, what is Cinque Terre? Cinque in Italian means 5 and terra means lands or region. So Cinque Terre comprises of 5 lands or 5 regions together, or 5 towns if I say correctly, which are Monterosso, Vernazza, Corniglia, Manarola and Riomaggiore, out of which Manarola is the one where I'm staying, which is the least touristy town. Corniglia is the one we are visiting now. Riomaggiore we already visited yesterday, and once I get down I hope to visit Vernazza and Monterosso also by train. Each of these villages have different dialects, and I'm not sure if the tourists could recognize that, but the locals would surely be able to make out the difference. There we are, few switchbacks and we should be in Corniglia town now. And we see the vineyards and the famous stone dry walls again. This is the Corniglia town, and I think that's where we'll have to descend to get to the train station. So here you can see some of this dry stone wall being built. You can see some stone and some masonry, hammer and some tools to work with to build these walls. Nobody's working here right now, but I'm sure they are doing the same thing. You can see the repair for the existing wall being done here. That was hell of a hike. My host told me that it's going to take me 2.5 hours, but it's taken me over 3 hours. And I haven't reached the train station yet. I have just reached the edge of Corniglia town. I still need to descend through the town to get to a viewpoint or to the train station. So I'm doing that right now. Really tired.